Welcome all to another ENVITER webinar. My name is Vera, and I'm the Communications Officer for the European Network for Visual Impairment Training, Education and Research. And my job here is to make the bridge between ENVITER and Avilnova, which is our member, and the project that is being presented here for you all to know, the project VIPPSTAR. Okay, so I wanted to warn you, of course, that this webinar is being recorded and it will be available on the ENVITER's YouTube channel in a few days, hours, perhaps. You can see it, review it, or you can use it for whatever you want to forward to your colleagues or to use on your project or whatever you need. If you need something more, just contact me and I can arrange everything. Also, in a few days, you will receive a link for a feedback form, so we can get to know what you think about what are your thoughts about this webinar. The webinar is called it's about Project VIPPSTAR, and so we are going to talk about VIPPSTAR. So I think that Cesare or Irene are going to start. The floor is yours.
Right. Good afternoon. Thank you. We want to give you an overview on the project VIPPSTAR, and in which we, as Avilnova, are involved. And the project just started and will last a couple of years. And now we present you the step. We are setting up. So I let the word to Cesare and the team. Then they give you all the useful information, and then you will have time for question on intervention. So, okay. Thank you.
Yes, we can see. But we cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. So I'm Cesare. I am a mathematician as education, and for many years I've been working in the construction of projects in which artificial intelligence is used on important data, especially for health. And this is a project we got in love when we had the opportunity. And I'm really happy to be here also with the colleagues. I very grateful also to Irene and all her team for being able to be the real part of the project with many others. So this is a project that was being funded by the European Union. It's going to last for 4 years. We are after 9 months. And the goal is to create an environment which is how they asked in the proposal, holistic, which means comprehensive and integrated on what we can do. So what we will discuss today is a short presentation of the main aims of our project, and a sort of the main phase is some specific examples and some focus on what are the strong points. There are many of them, but I want to talk about the early rehabilitation. We will have Serena with us explaining about that. We will have 2 short movies, clips about the registry and the nutrition and physical activity. And then the focus for today is what we can do today. We can build up together. So we really want to invite us people, which we believe is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, stakeholder organization. And actually our project is built around having feedback. And I will try to explain where are the points where we hope we can be working together. This is actually, we didn't understand it at the beginning, is really a huge project. It's about 100 person years. So it's a lot of work by 18 partners for 10 countries. And the funding is also an important funding, like now they do in these European projects. And it's also interesting that we move across Europe, from Spain to Moldova, from Scotland to Italy to Greece. So we have these directions. And also we have 8 universities, especially expert on clinical data. We have one medical center. We have a National Rehabilitation Center. We have the Italian National Health Institute. We have NGOs. And we have two stakeholders, small medium industries. We have here VIN International, which is actually our communication officers. And then we have 4 technology partners from the guys that are supposed to make these things working together. I'm here also with Andrea, who is the responsible for managing the project. So our aim is to build a framework which is the beginning of a lifelong path to health, to well-being. So from birth to, let's say, adulthood. And the point is to build some agency, they would say, so autonomy in empowering life and especially health. That was the goal of the project. This is a kind of project which is devoted to young people and especially for personalized prevention. So the concept that we are going to do a different part of the life is how to make possible to improve autonomy in all these parts. So I don't need actually to tell you anything introducing the context. The context is that, of course, the difficulties for persons with visual impairment go far much more beyond vision loss. So there is multimorbidity, of course, so this is also part of the story. But the important part is the limitation in the future of physical and social development, especially. What is the game changing here is that the paradigm for visual impairment is changing a lot throughout the world, throughout the industrialized countries. So there is now a prevalence, a global prevalence worldwide of cerebral visual impairment, which is actually very, very strongly associated to preterm birth. And in the few places in the world that are actually able to map and know enough about the epidemiology of visual impairment are already above the 50%. So of course there are all the disruption of vision, but the important part of the story is actually that is something is happening in the brain, which is bad news because there are often multimodalities. But also this is the starting point of our story, is that something can be done if intervention, very early intervention is done and is applied. So you have to imagine our project 3 main blocks. So imagine this blue thing is like a box. And there is a block. In this box, we have 3 blocks. One is, let's say, a very intensified habilitation or rehabilitation approach, which is was born on a specialist, but is actually with this big ambition here to have parents that are able to provide very intensive rehabilitation processes. So this is a very early, very intensive, and almost impossible to manage by even the richest national health services. And now our ambition is to be able to create a system that can quite, let's say, reasonably organize using the best that we can do with information technology and artificial intelligence to help. We also build on long-term research on the use of serious games, personalized serious games that are tuned to child condition, let's say cognitive age, but also the specific characteristic of the impairment. And we are making a new version of this game that Professor Elsa Ortibus Louvain has been developing for many years. So that's updating using visual cognitive matrix, and this is, let's say, a new packaging or something which is now time to be distributed. On the end of, but let's say, in the adolescence age, we have people that probably are more skilled than average in using Android or phones or smartphones. And we are trying to build tools that are actually building up let's say, the capability of self-managing of, and especially areas like physical activity, nutrition, and what is called now body image. So the capability of representing, well, in a positive way, becoming capable to overcome the limitation. Technologies are in yellow here, and we have a number of things that I would like you to think as at your availability. So we are building an environment for e-learning. It was developed for the COVID times by the University of Trento, which is a very interesting personalization, and it is being developed for the parents and then for the people that are involved in the project. We have a company with expert in smart textiles, so in feedback, which can be wear. We strongly using a co-design approach, which is something which is not unique to other projects. In this case, it's the first time I think we thoroughly use this approach. And what I think is the very first time we're going to have the seed for the eventually of the surveillance network for collecting data. All of the blue box is something we in 2025 we have to do. So if we want to introduce today or tomorrow artificial intelligence, these are kids they are at risk. Everything is happening possibly in family. So we need to create a totally completely safe environment for the use of artificial intelligence, even if we use it just for collecting metrics. So we have proposed to use a very highly regulated system. I would be happy now if one of the protagonists of the stories, if Serena Micheletti would like to start and tell us the story of this research that started as a research and then an application for many years in Brescia. Serena, are you with us?
Yeah. Hi, thank you, Cesare. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm Serena Micheletti. I'm a child neuropsychologist and I work at the Center for the Diagnosis and Intervention for Infants and Children with Visual Impairment, which is located at the Children's Hospital in Brescia. This center is led by Professor Elisa Fazzi, who is also the principal investigator of this project. In particular, we are in charge on promoting and conducting the G1 project, so the one about the application of a digital platform for the promotion of not only visual function, but the whole neurodevelopmental profile of infants up to 32 months with a visual impairment or at risk of visual impairment. I'm a child neuropsychologist. I work with child neurologists and neuropsychologists. I think that most of you probably are used to work with us. So our perspective is also related to these aspects. And as you surely know, the early assessment of visual functions has very important meaning, not only for the mere visual function, but also because assessing visual functions, we can also detect very early, since the first days of life, also the risk of neurological or brain damage, since the fact that visual function is related to a very huge network in the brain. So it's useful also not only for the importance of promoting our intervention, but also to detect other neurodevelopmental disorders. And as concerned our approach, we need to say that in the literature, we don't have so many data about the an evidence-based data on the effectiveness of early visual interventions. Most of the data come from systematic reviews, meta-analysis that come from fields outside the field of visual impairment. For example, there are lots of meta-analysis about the effectiveness of early interventions in infants born preterm or in infants with cerebral palsy. And so there's a lack of evidence about this approach, and we would like to find the way to fill this gap. Another problem concerns the fact that in our center, and I don't know if it happens also in yours, trying to find the way to satisfy the principles of early intervention. For example, the necessity of a high-intensive approach based on parents, so parent-centered approach, is very difficult to find the way to propose the kind of intervention in our centers. And we are trying to find a way to fill this gap and to bridge the gap between the necessity to satisfy these principles and a way to translate it into a clinical approach which is feasible in our centers. Because as you the demands of an intervention often exceed the capacity, and this kind of interventions often clashes with the quality of life of our families that need to completely disrupt their family routine to reach their infant, to reach our centers several times per week, to satisfy the importance of working on their infants' difficulties many times per week. So we started more than 10 years ago in 2014 proposing a first approach using telerehabilitation. So we conducted a pilot study, and about 10, 15 families with infants with visual impairment started this kind of approach. We proposed activities, they were at home, we were in our clinical centers. Through a very low-tech approach, we could conduct the first the proposal of telerehabilitation intervention for promote visual functions in our infants, but the technology was not so sophisticated. And despite very good results, last year we realized that we really need to find a new way to propose this kind of intervention that was based not only on the observational clinical approach, but we find the necessity to find a more objective and systematic way to document the improvements of our infants, as we can see in the video that is going. And so one of our aims is not only to promote all these visual functions in a way that is more feasible for our parents, which is parent-friendly, that permit parents to empower their role in supporting their children's development. But this digital platform will also satisfy the need to obtain more objective data to document these improvements. And so, and we would like to find it through this possibility to introduce also AI and SAFE-based approach to assess the improvements of our families and infants with visual impairment. So this is our dream. We hope we will be able to find that. We are working very hard in set up not only the platform, but also all the ethical framework that will need to be arranged before starting the platform, and all the activities that will be addressed to different functions: motor function, cognitive functions, language function, communication, and relational skills. So we are trying and working very hard in finding a way to approach in a more holistic way in treating our infants. I hope I'll be clear, but please, I'm here if there are any questions about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Serena. And so here we are with you, and we would like really like to your help in understanding more what we are doing, and then helping us in bringing what will be these guidelines that will be evaluated scientifically, and try to offer this beyond the scope of our project. So we will be very happy, especially within next year, to when we start with the validation, but also later to see if some of these concepts can be compressed over cellular phones, if we can create some portable stuff. We expect to build also materials for that, which is something that you are very expert in that. So we would really like to evaluate also in the next phases how much the, let's say, quantification, like in the previous movie, can be extracting parameters that can help in understanding how the kid is responding to the therapy, how this can be personalized. We have colleagues from Barcelona, Udine, and from my center, Light, from the Spindle Club to build up this rather complex system. Okay, so we expect ENVITER to helping us discussing. If I can go ahead, another aspect which will be just episodic now is that there is a group in Greece has a very long expertise in the field of metabolic disorders, diabetes especially, and they wanted to create a solution for this unsolvable problem that nobody is really able to let's say, document the food which is used, and they had this system which is based on vision, on deep learning AI. So you may expect, let's say, a library of food for a nation, especially they were expert in Mediterranean food, and you can get also the quantification, which is something which is really in even state-of-the-art studies is something which is still not working at all. So if you see in this picture, you can see a small €2 coin, which is giving the proportion, and there are different models, and eventually you don't need other than focusing. So if we are building some protocol that can, in which people with reduced vision or by fixing the position can be helped to understand what are they eating and what are the nutritional loading of the system. There is already a very large set of data for that, and also a couple of projects, and now we are making that thinking and redesigning that for people with visual impairment. So this has been already retrained on the catalog for Moldova, and this is, for me, is a perfect story. If you have a team of adolescents, and I think definitely we will do that in Trento with Irene, and you can have a class, you can work together, you can learn about artificial intelligence, you can retrain, and create a system which grows, but with the quality of information. It's a very good story, and we hope this is the basis for some, let's say, protocol that we want to use to habilitate the independence in deciding, organizing for a more balanced nutrition. And I will not talk today about that, but for adolescents, we are going to have an interface which is intelligent and based on speech, which is transferring the information for these modules. For the moment, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to demonstrate it is a very mature technology. Another aspect which is important, and we had many conversations with Irene, is how important it is to start early with physical activity, which is, is not winning the Olympics, is living every day a healthy life, understanding to have sport together with others. And we are lucky to have also experts in the area, like Realize is a small medium enterprise which is actually working in this field. And so the point is how we can make a future of movement which is not stopping after when parents are not actively involved. So one of the point is to measure, to quantify, to be able to follow. And this is the reason why we are also using this system, which are not invasive, with a company who is specialized actually with preborn children. We have been using that with autism, so we know it, I think, is a good technology. But we are adding now what is called haptic, so like the capability of giving bad feedback. So we can give a vibration or of firmness in the system. I think I have a short video in which the responsible for that was an expert. I'm sorry, can you hear Thomas speaking?
No,
Not really?
not really.
Not really. So how can I do that? How can I do that? So I'm sorry, I should have tested that.
So-
Let me try directly and see if you can hear. I am actually in a noisy environment, and so let's hope that it is working anyway.
Children experience progress in their ability. They
Better, yes. Thank you.
Esteem and motivation. Feeling capable and successful can inspire them to take on new challenge both in outside and in the classroom. The VIPPSTAR framework emphasizes three fundamental components of physical activity: strength, endurance, and postural stability. Together, these three pillars create a holistic approach that address the unique needs of visually impaired children and adolescents. The VIPPSTAR protocol for indoor physical activity, designed to strengthen physical and social skills for children and adolescents with visual impairment, is a balanced home-based exercise with structured gym activity, ensuring accessibility, variety, and effectiveness. At home, children are encouraged to engage in physical activity. 2 days per week, home-based exercise are practical and easy to adapt, focuses on strength, endurance, flexibility, balance, coordination, and postural stability. Activities such as push-up, sit-ups, stretching, or resistance training not only help improve physical fitness, but also foster independence by creating routines that children can perform in a familiar environment. This exercise can enhance body awareness and motor control, making everyday tasks easier and safer while contributing to overall well-being. In addition to home section, the program includes one gym section per week. Gym-based activities expand the scope of training by combining structured fitness exercise with opportunity for socialization and integration. Here, children can benefit from specialized equipment and professional guidance, supporting more advanced developing of strength, endurance, flexibility, balance, coordination, and postural stability. Equally important, the gym environment offers a space for teamwork and peer interaction. Through group activity, children build communication skills, develop friendship, and experience of the motivation that come from participants as part of community, also with innovative tools that you can see in this picture. Now we present this innovative system designed by VIPPSTAR to support indoor physical activity for children and adolescents with visual impairment. The approach integrates technology and movement analyzed to ensure that exercise are effective, safe, and personalized. A computer gives a child the instruction of the exercise. Their movements are captured by analyzing using a combination of tools. A camera records the exercise enabled both visual tracking and digital movement. In addition, wearable devices more fast collect physiological and biomedical data such as pulse, stability, and the rate. The data is transmitted to connect a software where it's translated into a meaningful feedback. All collected information is processed by advanced computer system and analytics software. Importantly, the system generates personalized message and recommendation which can be shared with the child, their family, and caregivers. This message encourages motivation, provide clear instruction, and ensure safe practice at home or in instructor environments. The closed-loop design, where movement is recorded and analyzed feedback into the training program, creates a dynamic process of continuous improvement. It empowers children to become more aware of their bodies and movement. We also reassuring families and professionals that activities are both effective and particularly secure. The last part of the project is outdoor activity, which are a great way to complete indoor training as they combine physical fitness with independence, confidence, and social interaction. Through our partner with, for example, Les Claims, children and adolescents with visual impairments can experience sailings. This activity develops balance, coordination, and teamwork, which also helping participants build confidence as they learn to manage the boat together. With VIPPSTAR realized both partners of the project, we focus on hiking and nature exploration. Hiking improves endurance and postural stability. We also stimulate sensory awareness through sounds, texture, and sense of the environment. At the same time, it encourages teamwork and friendship. Both sailings and hiking show how outdoor activities can provide not only physical benefits, but also unforgettable experience that strengthen self-esteem, social skill, and overall well-being. Thank you very much for your attention, and then let's continue work together to ensure that children and adolescents with visual impairments have a very opportunity to benefit from physical activity and its many advantages. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay. Actually, a strong opportunity as again for working together for creating application. As you see, there is a transition for working indoor, possibly in groups, to have a sport together with others. So can you hear me? Yeah? Yeah, hopefully yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm presenting now with the help, again, of a very famous colleague with John Ravenscroft. You may have already met him at the ICV Europe organization, is that a very ambitious idea to reach, let's say, the basis for building the first European registry network of the wire. There is a network, there are a couple of, two at the most 3 nations in Europe that are able to create a comprehensive understanding from the early stage of life, and Italy is not one of them, and even Belgium is not. So Scotland actually has BINSIP, John Ravenscroft has built this system there in other countries. So what we are trying to do is actually very ambitious, because the 4 countries together have a share much more than 15% of Europe. So we expect to be close to be able to demonstrate that at least 10% of Europe can be traced. And then this could be, if anybody is going to propose such a system, could be involving a large number of nations. So this is very interesting. And we have John telling the story.
Good afternoon. My name is Professor John Ravenscroft from the University of Edinburgh, and it's great to be back in touch with ENVITER. It's been a while, so it's good to be able to present this webinar for you. And Hello, everyone who knows me, and hello to all those who don't know me. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about my role and the project that I'm leading on in the VIPPSTAR program. So, if I can get my slides to work. So my role is to set up a European surveillance registry or a network of childhood vision impairment. It's classed within Work Package 7, and it's part of that much larger VIPPSTAR program that you've already heard about. So, part of the project, what we're doing is to pilot this notification system, registry, however you want to call it, across 4 different countries in Europe. That's in Italy, Belgium, Moldova, and in Scotland. So Scotland already has a register of childhood impairment. So we're building on that in these other countries of Belgium, Italy, and Moldova. Why should we build a registry? Well, there is a clear purpose. Part of it is research. We really don't know in any of our countries exactly how many children with visual impairment there are. And this is really worrying. And it's worrying because it doesn't allow for accurate service planning. It doesn't really allow for proper development of policies at government, local, and national levels there. So we really need a registry across Europe to not to identify, but to understand the profile of childhood and visual impairment. How many children do we have? How many children have this condition? How many children don't? So we really need that to help us support analysis at this European level. And it will help us understand what connections with the environment and with the social going on and all aspects that the child's life will help us through the registry enable to understand and deliver proper and supportive and targeted service planning. Part of what we also want to do is think about interoperability, if I can say the word right. We want to know, can it integrate with other registries and data sets? So we know across Europe there are some other fantastic registries. For example, there's the cerebral palsy register, but there's a registry of rare diseases, there's a registry of other conditions of prematurity and so forth. So what we really want to do is to be able to connect into those other systems. So what we're trying to identify now is what are the standards that will ensure compatibility. How do we address that compatibility of language system, clinical differences to connect with other registries? Because we want to understand correctly and appropriately childhood visual impairment across Europe. So one of the biggest issues, of course, is privacy and consent. So we have to really understand what are the legal bases of this collection, how is consent managed for children, and what are the privacy and data protection measures used within the registry. And of course, we have to be compliant with all EU regulations and frameworks. That's across Europe and also within each individual country. So how will this work? Well, it's an interesting question. We currently think the process will be like this. The identifiable data will be collected at clinics. So this is what's currently is. So when children go to clinic, when they go to their eye clinic, they are seen by the ophthalmologist or the orthoptist or the pediatrician or any eye care professional. And data is collected, data about the child, data about the eye condition, and that's collected. And that's identifiable data. So the clinicians, those who that child is. However, at that clinic, the parents' child will be allowed consent to having their anonymized and aggregated data. So that will be data from all that clinic about their child, about the children, sent encrypted to a central European registry. Where that registry will be based is yet to be determined, but it will be sent with all the rules and regulations followed by EU to an encrypted central European registry. We will then aggregate all of that data across all of the countries, and we are going to work extremely hard to ensure that no child is identifiable. But what we will have is aggregated data across Scotland, Belgium, Moldova, and Italy, so we can start to really understand exactly what is childhood visual impairment across Europe. This is something that we hope to grow across different countries who want to join the VIPPSTAR registry. Part of what we're doing now as well is to think in the future. So how frequently is this registry going to be reviewed? How do we adapt the new research about childhood visual impairment, particularly thinking about cerebral vision impairment, of course, and how is technology involved in there? We think about all of the issues regarding data management and how data is held on servers and so forth. And what is the feedback loop for improvement? So we are piloting this registry, so we want to think about that feedback loop. And I think this is a really good role that ENVITER can really help for us. And I'm looking particularly at you all there. So at the moment, we're defining what is childhood visual impairment, and that's basically been done. We're in confirmation of the host of where the research and the registry will be based. We are at the process of identifying all the data fields that we want to collect for each child. And we're starting our ethics applications now, and we are going to then ensure that we are compliant with all legal framework. And this is going to take us about 18 months to do this. We've got about a year before I need to report to the group, to the wider group, on all of these issues there. So it's complex, it's extremely difficult. It's not been done before across European countries. There have been other registries, of course, across Europe. If you think you've one in Denmark, there used to be one in Sweden. So hopefully, we would really appreciate your support. And that once the system is up and running, we can help to ensure that as many children get notified to the VIPPSTAR registry once it's up and running. If you've got any questions, any concerns, any issues, any anxieties, any thoughts, it's a good idea, it's brilliant, how can we help? I'll join. Please let me know, or please let Cesare know, and I look forward to hearing from you. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. I am actually away traveling, so I'm doing this from a very odd hotel room. Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, so what we are trying to do now is to close the last 3 slides, so I will point and just that the difficulty of working with employing artificial intelligence in health is now has a sort of a mandatory highway. So you have to start building, let's say, systems that are very close to medical devices, even if it's only software. It's probably not the case for the most of the software we have been developing, but we are working very carefully to have a very strong foundation. A sandbox is a place where our kids can play with a very reduced risk. Actually, it's a dirty place, but it's good for them. And so this is the place where typically you can make mistakes. So it's confined, and we will provide all the possible risk analysis and interactive. So we have specialists, was some of the people that started in Europe working on this field. And so what we want now to have you joining the supervision. So we actually have a lot of experts in the area, actually not only technologists, but also legal team. We are writing informed consent must be very easily understood. We want to be able to use this data with complete understanding from the parents and also for the kids. We will be invited, but ENVITER is a key player probably in helping us understanding how much intrusive and also telling how much is useful. How can we make it really useful? So Cristiano Storni from Limerick said is making a fantastic work using ideas from co-design, which is let's say, now the way to go when you have a new software. And this is the very first time we try to use an adapted system in which different tools, different playful situation in which peers are working together with iterative designing multiple parts, including the learning solutions. So that's also a part in which Irene is already involved with her team. So eventually, what is happening here? We really need you to helping us making this useful for all Europe. We want to hear your voice. We want to have participation, and frankly, also some promotion. Point number 7 probably is the first one to fix. We will ask you to nominate an invited representative in the stakeholder committee, which will be a very important role in moderating what we can do and what we should not do. The guidelines that Serena discussed and the video game by the legal partner are possibly important solutions that should be adopted, and we would like to have your help in promoting that. So we have you kindly offer the page, and we can put more information there. The learning platform is totally general, so we can also offer, if you have projects, to have your staff adapted for that. We can discuss about that. So we are totally open. I hope you are convinced by, if you are the expert in the field, that this physical exercise is an important adoption step toward health status. We have projects about also trying to explain the scientific aspects of nutrition with people with visual impairment taking the initiative. The registry is the first chance, and we will ask you to, if any of the country you are representing, you are participating, can be added in the future. So we will definitely consulted on that. Please have some of you coming next year, probably in spring, when we are going to have the most important event of our community. So we would like to have some, let's say, homework for us, and then having a scientific and public discussion. So this probably will be in Trentino. So Irene will be involved in her own municipality, and in Italy, in Trento or in Rovereto. So hopefully we will be able to host you and hear your voice directly. So I think our colleagues, I've seen at least Anka David will be staying in touch. We have a website, we have LinkedIn, we are trying to make our own scientific results as quickly available as possible. And finally, we will make our best to leave a place for kids that are coming from your own teams when we arrive to the second, third year. So up to 2028 will be running. I'm very thankful to my collaborator, to our collaborator, actually our coordinator, Andrea Kubanji here, for creating the environment for working together. So thank you for your attention, and thank you to all the partners. And that's also an interesting website based on AI technology, and please try to stay in touch with us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for being here, and of course for the VIPPSTAR presentation about the project. I can say a bit about ENVITER and the role that ENVITER, I cannot say the role that ENVITER can take on this project, because I'm only the communications officer, so I'm the facilitator of communications. But I can tell you that I will take some of your ideas to the board, and we'll see what we can do more to help VIPPSTAR project go forward. Because actually we don't have, ENVITER doesn't have professionals working for ENVITER. You see, we have a lot of members, and we need to be really involved in VIPPSTAR. We would need someone working for ENVITER, which is not the case. But I will take the VIPPSTAR project to the board, and then we'll see. Okay. Another suggestion I was going to make is that along with the link for the feedback, along with the link for this recording, I will join the link for the newsletter about VIPPSTAR. So anyone on this webinar can easily join the newsletter, okay? Because I know that VIPPSTAR has a newsletter, so people can keep track of what's going on. Yes? Am I right? Yes.
Thank you so much. So I would say that our colleague Anka would be the right person to stay in touch, and feel free to contact us like you are doing already with Serena, Jaime, I think.
Yes,
So our collaborator is in Barcelona, by the way. Project. So we have a better.
So if you don't have any more questions, anyone? Okay, thank you so much for the presentation and for getting to know a bit more about VIPPSTAR, and we keep in touch.
Okay, so and please,
you.
Jaime, do contact us for.
Yes, I saw Jaime, but he was talking with
Jaime.
Serena, so Jaime, it's on chat. Okay.
So I will leave to Irene. Okay, Irene.
Yes.
Okay.
You got the right person in the room. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you
Bye.
so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you.
Again to you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.